Hello, ladies. Welcome to week number 8. This is so exciting. You are, 2/3 of the way through with this program. And it's not really the end, even when you get to the 12 weeks. When we get near there, we will be talking about moving on and where you're at and kind of taking, just reviewing, looking back where you were and where you still need to go. So by now, you have learned how to work through some mindset stuff, work through self-sabotage, learning how to prep foods, what foods to fill your pantry with. We've talked a lot about food, right? We've talked a lot about how to, prep foods for breakfast, lunch, and dinner to make things easier for you, because this is not just a start and stop diet. This is something that you're going to do for a lifestyle. This is something that as you slowly shift your mindset, you will shift those habits so that when you're out and you're on vacation, when you're with family, when you're with friends, you're going to make better choices based off of just what you've learned. Every time I've done these programs, or I've done some sort of a program where we're teaching habits, even just speaking it out loud helps people to just be more aware. Sometimes they don't even realize that they're making better choices. So every little step you make, remember, it's small steps that are going to lead to huge differences in how you look and feel. This isn't a weight loss program. It will lead to weight loss, but we have to shift our mindset and our relationship with food first. And we have to be able to understand what foods fuel our body and what take away. And we have to be okay with letting go of some things in our lives that don't serve us, right? So at this point, we are going to, this in week 8, what we're going to do is we're going to shift things a little bit, because we've talked a lot about, like I said, about food. But we want to dig deeper. We want to go further, because when it comes to food, there's always a reason that many people use food as a way to medicate, to self-medicate, right? And that's something that we need to be more aware of, like why we make these choices. Why are we making the bad choice when we know we should be making the good choice, right? So sometimes we get confused about this. So what it is that we need to realize that food can be even like something that numbs us, something that makes us feel good. We escape. It's self-soothing. Maybe because we're dissatisfied, we're upset, we had a bad day, right? So we need to look at other areas of our life. It can become a compulsion, but a compulsion can actually be okay if it's used in the right ways. So you don't want to feel that, because you're eating foods that don't serve you, you want to understand why. What is it that's making you? Why do you want to have that food? Why do you want to have that extra glass of wine, or a piece of cake, or whatever it might be that is not serving your needs? Even when you have goals, sometimes that's where the self-sabotage comes from. So almost everybody that I talk to at some point has self-medicated with food. They're searching for something else to be fulfilled. And we need to fill that emptiness. And there's some anxiousness, and that usually happens when we do that with food. But it doesn't feel satisfying. It's not always. There's still something else that we need. So when we do this, it might work temporarily, because it numbs us out for just a little bit, right? And maybe not numbing, but like drinking a lot of alcohol. But it makes us feel good, because we have those endorphins that make us feel better when we do certain things that are self-soothing, right? But it usually leaves us still wanting. Sometimes some part of us, it means there's some part of us that wants to be expressed but feels suppressed. It's a sign that something is wanting attention. Perhaps you're working too much. Your creativity has been put on hold. Maybe there's other things in your life that you wanted to do, but you haven't. Perhaps you've been, a homebody, like we were when, with COVID, and you're still trying to work your way through that. Some people are still trying to figure it out. Maybe you want more social time with your friends. Maybe you felt isolated, whatever it could be. But what we have to do is we start thinking it's hunger. And really it's a message that something else, we're dissatisfied with something else, or anxiety is creeping us on. And we quickly turn to foods to medicate. So this could be a compulsion. So the thing about it is there's a gift when it comes to compulsion. Any compulsion is we have is a powerful healing. It's a healing opportunity. It is the body trying to communicate a need or a desire, usually someplace in our lives that we're underexpressed. The body pretty much tells us us at all times exactly what we need. We have this amazing body that God's given us, and it will tell us what we need. It heals when we feed it right, when we take care of it. Our bodies, our desires, our joy, all these things are so much more heightened when we take care of ourselves. We're able to give more to our families, and we're able to be more productive in life. So we do have this innate wisdom. We've just forgotten how to listen to it and what we really want during that moment when we feel that need for something else. We've forgotten to listen to it, and we need to start learning. So anytime we are feeling anxious, bored, depressed, frustrated, or anytime we are feeling bad about ourselves or judging our bodies, which we all have a tendency to do, and we feel pain, and sometimes you feel pain in different areas of our body, we're reaching for food to self-medicate, or you're reaching for something to drink, right? It's time to step back and think about what it is. We got to listen to our bodies. Underneath that hunger is usually some area of our life where we need to pay more attention. We need to express. We need to devote more time to it. And I have a lot of friends who do this really deep healing, and some of it, even myself, I don't understand, and I'm still working towards understanding it, what it means to, really, really sit back and focus on us. So I myself sometimes have to sit back and reflect. So what I want to do right now is start to decode our body wisdom together. So I'm curious about where you're feeling excess weight, pain that you would like to shift. So think about that. I want you to take a piece of paper, and I want you to start writing down things. Where do you feel pain at? Where do you feel discomfort? Where are you frustrated with your life? So this is an opportunity just to get curious about your body, what your body is telling you. Many people have judgment and criticize themselves about these kind of things. We stand in front of a mirror, right? And we inspect our bodies and we criticize ourselves. Maybe we don't like how our arms are. We don't like our bellies. We don't like our butt, our thighs, whatever it might be. We look at these as flaws. We punish ourselves with deprivation, and we want something new, right? And then we cause ourselves pain by going and indulging. This doesn't always work, right? It's like waging war against yourself. Nobody wins that way. Think of your pain that you have in your body or excess weight. Is there any area or body that you've been judging in excess? Write that down. So this may be weird. This is my weird questions, but it's important to notice where we store judgment, because in the moment, we're going to transform judgment with a new perspective. So here's the question. Do you ever find yourself inspecting or criticizing your body part, whatever that is? Write it down. What part of your body do you always criticize? What part of your body do you say? I hear this often, from women going, well, and they're joking about it. I got big boobs, the big boobs get in the way, or that's my butt, or, people will say things in a joking way when really internally it's hurtful. It's something that they're speaking to themselves. You want to stop that self-talk, the negative self-talk, because then we are not looking at ourselves in a positive way. So what is it that you say to yourself? Write that down. When you're seeing it, what are you saying to yourself? What kind of things do you say? So instead of doing that, what we want to do is, instead of talking about how our bodies and always thinking of ourselves as overweight or in this pain, I want to invite you now to a new perspective. I want a new way to think of that pain and a new way to think about excess weight. Think of any time that you're noticing your self-talk, thinking about that and doing negative self-talk. And instead of criticizing, think of the potential energy that's there. Or if you're noticing pain in the body, think about the potential energy there. Think about the energy that you can actually use from that. What is it doing? Energy in a way that's going to make you change and shift your thinking. So if you always feel like you have a big butt, use that energy from that to go, what can we shift in that area? So let's no longer take this place to a dark place. It actually brings you into the light of things. Psychologically, it's stored energy. Physiologically, it's stored energy. Psychologically, it's stored personal power. It's potential energy for creation. It's potential energy for self-expression. It's life process that's been on hold, emotions, and digesting of past experiences. Potential for claiming your gifts, your beauty, your goodness, and your successes. It's such a powerful and different perspective than we are used to. And it's so much more empowering. I know this is kind of really weird, and it's a new perspective. I'm curious how this lands for you. So think about it. Just sit back and think about it. Okay? I want, you should be scheduling your call this week. So I want to talk about this stuff. We're going to talk about it if you're in week 8. Okay? If this is your week 8, obviously that's where you should be. This week, we're going to talk about it on our call. So make sure that you get that call scheduled. So what we're going to do, and I want you to complete these exercises because that's what we will be talking about when we get on our call. I want to hear more in depth on how you feel about these areas, what you think about this. Where does it land with you? I mean, does it make sense to you? Does it resonate with you? So what I want to do now is we're going to do one of our experiential exercises. You're going to see that I attached the Wheel of Life. I want you to pull that out. I want you to make sure that you print it out. And I hope that you've made a binder of each of these weeks. Take that binder and everything that you can print it out, because I don't want you to feel that when we're done with the program, depending on where you choose to go, you may have access if you continue on with me. But if you don't, I want to make sure that you have all these resources available to you whenever you want. So make sure that you're printing out the recipes, you're printing out all the information that I'm giving you so that you can go back to it. I make binders of everything. If you saw back here in my office, binders for every program I've ever been in. But so what we're going to do here is we're going to switch gears and we're going to start decoding and what I talked about earlier. And this is what we're going to do when we get on our call. So let's do this exercise. I want you, and we want to find out what needs to be nourished. So during this exercise, what you're going to do is, you see that center bullet, right? So look at each section and place a dot on the line marking how satisfied you are with each area of life. A dot placed near to the center or circle indicates dissatisfaction. So this is dissatisfaction. Satisfaction's out here. So if you feel finances, you're really struggling with finances, then you would put it in here. If you're doing well with finances, you put it here. Joy. I want you to go through each of these and I want you to mark them because we are going to be talking about that on our call this week. Okay. Once you place the dot, connect the dots to see your wheel of life. Are there areas where you feel your wheel is flat? Are there areas where you feel nourished? And if so, how? So we're going to be going over this on our call. So make sure you get that done. The other thing we're going to be doing is personal power homework. This form is attached, okay? It is in there. You will complete it. It's not something you're going to print out. It's a form you're going to complete. What you're going to do is complete this and we're going to go over it. And it basically talks to you, well, what is one area of life that you would like to create something new? So I want you to go through this and I want you to complete this out as well. Like I said, it's not a print, it's a form. It's going to be attached in the program. Let me see where it's at. So it should be there and you should be able to have access to it. Yep. It's under the forms and worksheets, okay? Personal power worksheet. And then you, of course, have your end of module survey. So I want you to tell me what you thought about this session. I want to hear all about it. Continue working on everything else that you have done in the past. Let me know when you're struggling, where you're struggling now, and what you're doing, and what's going on, and what's going well. And remember, focus on the positive. We can always talk about the negative for a long time. So when we get on our call, that's the number one thing I want to know is what is going well. And because the more positive we are, the better we are at continuing on with our journey. Small things, remember, it is the non-scale victories that we want to celebrate. That scale will move eventually, but if we're not in the right place for it yet, then remember, we have to earn the right to lose the fat. And that's what you're doing. We're working on that. So have an amazing day, an amazing week, and I will see you in the next one.